What's going on, everyone? My name is Myles Farrington, and I am here with my one co-host this week to bring you the MONG podcast, episode 132, The Sounds of Silence. As I said, my name is Myles,
I'm Jordan.
and we are. I need to make that more natural. I don't know how to make that flow. I should have
Well,
probably did the name thing before the name of that podcast episode. Probably.
maybe
Probably. Yeah. Hey, this is a work in progress, as is every episode of the MONG podcast.
at episode 132, work
Yep.
in progress.
Yep. And my camera's frozen. Awesome.
Yay!
Awesome.
You see, that's what you get for criticizing it before we started.
That's what I get for probably unplugging it earlier this week. It's just not having anything right now. At least it has a beautiful picture of my face. Oh, there it is. We're back.
Hey,
All right. So, as I said, this is the Mom Podcast, and as per usual, we're here to bring you the news about video games. And my camera frozen threw me off a little bit. But anyway, what's going on the site right now, Mr. Editor in Chief?
all right, let's see here. I know that there's one fairly notable thing besides just the slew of news that Tyler Fisher regularly posts on this website.
Mm-hmm.
He is a news madman. Um, let's see here. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Chris Cobb's feature Six Strange Incidents Caused by Pokemon Go. It's just kind of a compilation of all of the uh, funny or scary or strange news stories
Mm-hmm.
that are around Pokemon Go and kind of his take on it. It's cute. It's funny. Got me to lol. So that's the biggest piece there. Not
Lamau.
much else.
All right, that's good. That's good. Yeah, as per usual, Tyler is one of our new people and very prolific, and Chris is always coming up with the newest features and et cetera, and he could tell you about them himself today, but he was not available because there may have been a little bit of slip up in terms of planning the podcast and who would take over for Adam this week. As you can see, we got the one and only Reedus Fetus man because we couldn't get anyone else in such short notice, which was literally an hour. So, but as per usual, I will say that we are always looking to add more people to the the Mong crew, not just the Mong podcast crew. We're kind of full up, but hey, if you want to write for us, or if you want to, I don't know, if you have an idea for a podcast of your own that you like to get out, and we'd be happy to help you with it and everything. And if you're a writer, a streamer who wants to stream under our banner, or a video person, a art person, I guess we could use an art person. Yeah.
Graphics would be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. It would definitely be nice to have art that's not just 3 or 4 slices of video game pictures for the Mom Podcast thumbnail. I don't know, whatever you.
They look beautiful though, Miles. You do a wonderful job on those.
Yeah, because I do so
That's
much
not
work on those.
patronizing. I mean, once again, not patronizing. I'm pointing this out. I actually do enjoy them. It looks like you usually get them pretty focused on each picture. I do enjoy the slices that you choose.
Yeah, but if you want to draw those pictures, not necessarily just 4 slices, if you want to like make some custom art per episode, I don't know. I don't know what you want to do. But we can work something out. We'd love to have you. And yeah, if you've got other ideas, there's a application on the website, and you can probably, if you have something that you think is silly or weird that you'd like to do, it might be silly or weird, but it might be something cool. So just fill out an application, and we'll contact you. And beyond that, what's been going on with your week, Mr. JL Floor?
Yeah, not a whole lot. As far as video games go, and not a whole lot actually in general. It's kind of a weird week for me, but I played a little bit more Pokemon Go. I don't know. I feel it starting to fizzle out. I don't really want to play it too much anymore. Um, and some Metal Gear. Still working on the platinum. Getting super frustrated with a certain mission, but I won't get too far into that. And then, so I did kind of check out some of the PlayStation Summer Play sale stuff for like the pre-orders and stuff like that, and I did not know anything about Bound, which is looking really cool. I just watched the trailer today. I was like, "Yep, I'm definitely going to be buying that game."
Yeah, it was weird. They like last PlayStation Experience, they had like the trailer for it, and it was like they were talking about it a lot, and then we just like we got one little snippet of like 5 seconds of it in one of the E3 trailers, and that was it. So
Yeah, I remember seeing it at the PlayStation Experience, but it did not look nearly like the game, or at least my impression of it was not anywhere close to the trailer that I just watched.
Hmm.
And the trailer that I watched made me way more interested in it. So definitely check that out. I think it comes out in a couple weeks. It's like August 16th or something like that.
Nice.
Um, Abzu comes out on Tuesday, I think. And then, I was way more interested in Abzu. And then
Whew.
and then I looked at Bound and was like, you know what? I think I might just wait for this one. Abzu looks cool. More interested in seeing what the reviews are like. So.
Well, that's really cool, Jordan.
Where'd you go, Miles?
My camera just turned off. Uh, hey, yeah, hey, you can listen to my dulcet tones until I get my camera to work again. Um, yeah, I was kind of interested in Abzu before, when I first saw the trailer. I didn't actually know anything about it, but the trailer was just kind of like, hey, you're swimming. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. And I don't know what I wanted it to be, but I got really hyped for it because the art is gorgeous. And
Yep.
yeah, that happened. So I'm not sure I'm quite interested in it at this point, but maybe if I just, oh, okay, I don't. Okay, Skype just turned off my camera for some reason. um, but yeah, that's that's my thoughts getting rattled and confused and lost because yeah. Anyway, what I've been doing this week is I played Destiny as per usual because that's what I'm doing again because DLC is coming. All my characters are at max level, so I can put that down for another couple months until the DLC comes out. Uh, had some really bad raids earlier this week with just uh just people not
I'm
know
hearing
what they're
deja
doing.
vu. It sounds like the same thing last week.
And the week before it was like, it was okay, but like this week it was just like, oh, good lord. Good lord. It's been 2.5 hours and we haven't finished this raid. What is happening right now? Um, but yeah, I did that. What else did I play? I keep feeling like I played something else, but I don't remember what it was. Uh, I tried to play Binding of Isaac this weekend. It was probably at a bad time because I just could not care, so I didn't finish the run, even though it was only like 30 minutes. Um, and that's like most of uh most of what's been going on for me. Not very much in terms of gaming until Rise of Iron or money happens, so I can actually buy new games and play them. Uh, Fun fact though, anyone who is interested, as I was, the first episode of what is that game called that just went out of my head? Life is Strange. The first episode of Life is Strange is free on like everything right now. So hey,
Hmm.
if you want to try it out, you should download it. I also downloaded it, but I haven't played it yet because I just haven't had the drive to play anything as of Beyond Destiny. So that's what's been going on with my life in terms of my games. And usually we'd have a third person chime in, but Mr. Reedus Fetus does not speak. He's a mute. He is also
Silent.
very good at standing still.
Hmm.
Hey,
Quite a talented individual right there.
oh yeah, he's really skilled at all that, and it's definitely not because he's a picture, but
Hmm.
he,
No,
he
he's there.
he's a stoic man. But you know what else is stoic?
The news from nowhere.
Yes, indeed, the news from nowhere. Uh, I still feel like there needs to be a better way to integrate that. It's like it says the news from nowhere, and then I feel like I have to say the news from nowhere, and it's like I might as well just said it the first time. But anyway, we're moving on to news from nowhere. Of course, this is the part where we talk about what's been going on this week in terms of the news and video games. And this is hey, what's up, Lord Jesus Christ, Crust, excuse me. And we're going to talk about the news. And I have a lot of stories from this week, even though I'm not really interested in like any of them. Which one will I pick? I wish I let's go to Google right quick. Let's see what Google has to say for a dice roll. Dice roll. Google's rolling the six-sided. We're doing story 3 first. So, out of nowhere, Dead Rising is getting a PC port this week. The first Dead Rising, not the second one or the third one that's coming out yet. So yeah, after a pre-E3 leak and an unseasonably festive trailer, I think it was Christmas themed. I don't quite remember. Dead Rising 4's release date was confirmed last month. On the off chance that wasn't enough Frank West flavored zombie slaughter for you, because Frank West is coming back. Uh, though Capcom has now revealed the original Dead Rising, now 10 years old, is finally heading to PC for the first time. Better late than never. Very true. As reported by Eurogamer, a trophy list for the first game appeared on achievements tracking website Exophase recently, which pointed towards an imminent PS4 release. Beyond that, there wasn't much else mentioned, like whether or not it'll be an HD remake or will introduce new features. For example, however, Capcom has since confirmed a PC iteration is headed our way this side of the year too, and I quote, Capcom will be bringing Dead Rising to Xbox One, PS4, and PC, the publisher told Eurogamer. In addition, Dead Rising 2 and Dead Rising 2 Off the Record will make their way onto Xbox One and PS4. We will have more news to share soon. That was another quote. So no solid release date just yet, but hey, it's news. And also, I don't really care about this because Dead Rising, I'm not the biggest fan of zombies. Dead Rising was interesting, and I think I played the demo and it was fun, but I don't care. But this is the kind of like, what is happening? These are the kind of like remasters and stuff that we actually need to have happen, in my opinion. Like 10 years, that's a very solid gap for a game. That's like, okay, people 5 years ago who were just getting into gaming or weren't old enough 10 years ago, they missed this. This is a remaster that's good. This is something that's I would expect to see, and not something that, Christ. Not something that is like a year old or like 2 years old, because that didn't really miss anyone current, up to date. Anyone up to date didn't miss that, and it's not that big of a deal for 2 or 1 year. And I'm gonna kill my computer, but after the podcast, once this is over. Jordan, what's your opinion of this?
Yeah, I mean, I never played Dead Rising, and I agree that like it definitely is a more opportune remaster than a lot of other remasters that we see these days.
Mm.
But there are a lot of people that I'm talking to are talking about how they never or they aren't really interested in going back to Dead Rising, or at least the first one. That the first one, based on their opinions, again, I have not played it, has been improved upon quite a bit in its sequels.
Mm-hmm.
And so it seems a little strange that they would do that instead of going with newer ones, or at least like working on more content for the newer ones. So not a lot. I don't have a lot to say about it, but I could go either way on how I feel about it as far as the industry goes. Like it's good that we're getting older games back, but also it's an old game.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely hope it's an HD remake. Otherwise, it is kind of like at that point, it's like, why, man? I mean,
old game is old.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I'm on the two different sides of the coin on this one. It's like I like that this is a 10-year-old game that they're bringing back, but if it's not a remake or remaster, then it is kind of like just what are you doing there, Capcom? Yeah, it seems like you're being a little silly at this point. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Hey, I'm back. Let's watch my camera turn off again in a minute. Anyway, yeah, Jordan, what's your first story of the night?
All right. So it seems that Rocket League is ready to start doing cross-network play, but is awaiting Sony's approval. The story comes from Tyler Fisher on Middle Nowhere Gaming. He says, Psyonix Vice President Jeremy Dunham has revealed that Rocket League's proposed cross-network play between PlayStation 4 and Xbox One is complete, and now is only awaiting Sony's approval to be released. Back in March, Dunham said that a solution to enable cross-platform play between PS4 and Xbox One had been figured out, but not finished, and that Psyonix still wasn't sure whether Microsoft and Sony stood on the idea. According to Psyonix, Microsoft has since given their stamp of approval, but Sony has yet to give their verdict. Dunham added that he has no idea when Sony will get back to them. It could be tomorrow. It could be longer than that. We just don't know. We're anxiously awaiting that, just like the rest of our fans, he says. Dunham went on to make clear that it's not an issue of Sony being reluctant on the matter as a whole, but rather that it's a case of making sure all ducks are in order before giving it green light.
Mm-hmm.
Quote, Sony's such a big company that I'm sure it takes a while for them to figure out what it is that the roadblocks are, what sort of issues they might run into with other titles, any number of things that I can't even begin to speculate on. We definitely ask them for updates often, and we're still very confident that they're eventually going to open those doors and welcome us in. But we also are really understanding that it's going to take a while, especially given all the ramifications of everything. It was just as much of a surprise to them as I think the rest of the world when Microsoft said that they would do it. If the feature pushes through, it will allow, for the first time ever, play across Xbox Live and PSN. According to Dunham, once Sony gives the go-ahead, the feature would take less than one business day to get up and running. With all that being said, the world of Rocket League awaits you, Sony. So, I think it's really exciting. I think it's going to happen, number one. And number two, when it does happen, it's going to be really important for the industry as a whole, because these two essentially competitors are going to be cooperating for the gaming's greater good. And especially since, according to Dunham, it doesn't seem like Sony's reluctant to do it.
Just seems like they want to make sure everything will work. Yeah. Yeah. As a gamer, of course, I really hope this happens. I would love to be able to play with, I would love that if Rocket League were just like the first game of many, because I would love to play Destiny with my friends who have it on Xbox One instead of PS4, because they're heathens, and I would love to just have that option in the future. Like if I had a friend or if I met someone who's like, yeah, I'm an Xbox fanboy. I'm like, well, I'm not a PlayStation fanboy, but I have the better console. So, I would like to play with you. So, let's do some cross-platform junk. And of course, again, as the gamer, I couldn't see how this would be a bad thing. But being realistic or just playing devil's advocate, I know it has to be. It is about money, and it's like they have to make sure they're actually gaining something here. Otherwise, they're essentially just helping Microsoft, which is, who wants to help their competitor get money when they're not actually making a gain? And I know some dissenting opinions say that they'll never do it because they're on top right now, so they have no reason to really lend a hand to Jesus Christ. Oh God. So they have no reason to really lend a hand to Microsoft. And then of course, they're like, well, but if the tables flip, then PlayStation will be like, hey, that cross-platform thing? And then Microsoft will be like, no, we don't. Get out of here, kid. So yeah, hopefully it doesn't happen, and hopefully that situation is not what plays out, and hopefully it will just be like, hey, we all love the gamers, so hey, here you go, guys, we're making you happy.
I wouldn't be surprised if Sony is also worried about the possible outcome where they do implement this program and something goes wrong and they get blamed for it, because then they look really bad compared to Microsoft.
Yeah.
That could be a PR disaster.
Yeah, I mean, anyone doesn't want to go into a partnership and have themselves get shot in the foot, essentially. So, yeah. Do I keep trying to fix this, or am I just blue for this episode?
It's up to you. I mean, if it's too much of a distraction to try to get it figured out every time, then I don't care.
It's not really even a distraction. It's just annoying. Because I know I can tell what's wrong. I just don't know how to fix it. Yeah, I'm gonna try again after I read the next story. So yeah, our next story is the dice came up 2. So we're gonna read what's holding back Crackdown 3. So yeah, as you all know, Crackdown 3 was revealed on E3 ago in 2015, I believe.
So,
I think so. But Crackdown 3 isn't launching in 2016 because the campaign isn't ready. There you go. Our questions answered. Moving on. Kidding. Back at E3, we had this is a Game Informer. We had the chance to speak with Microsoft Studios general manager Shannon Loftus. Whilst much of our conversation was about the upcoming Project Scorpio, they did discuss some games. Immediately prior to E3, Crackdown 3 was delayed out of 2016. Loftus explained why that is, and I quote, This is a long quote. Development has been going incredibly well. I've actually been playing a ton of it. To be honest, because we obviously have this Crackdown online mode, and then we also have the traditional Crackdown campaign, which has multiplayer online. But we want to launch our online beta so that it's not too far in advance of the complete campaign. It's actually the campaign that we are doubling down on now. We've got internal PlayStation or play sessions every week for Crackdown Online. We're starting now to get the campaign in. Building these open world games is both challenging and a blast because you have to build all of the systems that interact together before you get to the point where you can actually experience what the game feels like and can start building your missions and telling your stories. For some reason, I feel like the punctuation in that was awful because it kept tripping me up. Loftus also explained that they've taken a different approach to Crackdown than what was developed for the first two entries. The world is more responsive to player action. So these are a lot of quotes. I wish I had read through this before. So the Crackdown campaign is definitely the most fully featured campaign we've ever done. It's basically running a sim on top of the traditional Crackdown environment. We created this thing called a hate table, which sounds like an awful torture device. Depending on what you choose to destroy in the environment, there will be massive, big reactions all over the city. Gangs will get together against you. This is the first time we've ever had something like that. It's just starting to come online. We have lots of time to put together our missions. I don't like getting or letting gamers down and asking them to wait, but I'm also kind of proud of giving developers the time they need. Loftus's statements are in contrast with what the Xbox marketing manager Aaron Greenberg said on the TXR podcast at some point. We don't need the game this year, he said. We've got Recore, we've got Forza 3, we've got Gears of War 4, we've got Dead Rising 4, just on the stuff we're publishing before you get all the great third-party titles. We have a great partnership with EA around Madden and Battlefield. We've been more thoughtful about spreading out our titles over the next year, not cramming them all into the holiday. Giving people time to play games, to have time and enjoy, or time and money to be able to go buy the next game. When we look at the window of time, we sure didn't need another big AAA game, and we'd also rather give the team time and bring that out sometime next year. Jesus. Oh, that was a lot of words that say the campaign isn't ready. So yeah, this is just another thing of delays and how we feel about them. I will probably never change off my standpoint that video game developers tend to know what they're doing. So if they delay something, it's probably for the best, and it's probably going to be in the best interest of the gamer. And I actually did not know about the hate table because it'll be interesting. I like it when enemies fight each other in video games, and I think even though I'm probably going to be really angry about it at some point because it's going to kill me a lot, I think it's really interesting to see the concept that gangs will team up against you. And it's just yeah, usually that does not happen unless it's scripted. So if it's legit a Radiant AI thing, if anyone knows what that is from Oblivion, before it got taken out because it was a little bit too much. That'd be really cool to see. Like if I'm riding down the street and I don't know the Los Muertos, I don't know what the current gangs are, and Los Muertos start chasing me, and then I don't remember what the other two gangs are called. The Volks see them chasing me, and then I've suddenly got a bunch of red cars and a bunch of yellow cars on my tail, and it's just well, this is cool. I'm gonna die, but this is cool, you know. Yeah, any thoughts on this? See them chasing me, and then I've suddenly got.
Sorry. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good thing that they're taking the time to meet. I find it interesting that it's not the multiplayer aspect that's causing the delay, since that's usually the case with this sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're spending more time on the campaign, I think it's at least saying that is going to give a lot of fans some encouragement, probably, because usually when games have a development process that has a multiplayer aspect and a single player aspect being developed in tandem, it can detract from both. Specifically, multiplayer is usually the one that's pegged as detracting from the single player, at least for the amount of time that's used to develop the game.
Yeah.
But if they've got the multiplayer down now, and they're saying we want to make the single player feel really good, then I think they got their bread and butter pretty much served. I mean, open world games are always about single player experiences,
Yeah.
and multiplayer is secondary to that. So go for it. Do what you guys got to do. Get it out. Get it good.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be lovely to see if they can like really nail the marrying of the two, like a multiplayer open world game that's you know legit open world and the multiplayer is not lacking. It's like I always hate it when it's like the new multiplayer game or the new open world game is like, hey, you can play with your friends, but your friend is if the whoever goes into the other one's world, they're just gonna be like a generic character and they don't get to take anything with them. Yeah, yeah, because that's what you want to do when you have your character that you've been building hours and hours, and then it becomes like not the question of, hey, do we have time to play together right now? It's like, hey, who's gonna get shafted in the end, right? At the end of this game session. So, yep, if they can pull it off, I'll be happy. The idea of running around as a superpowered agent of good or evil is always really interesting.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right, so my next story, Miles, you kind of spoiled it a little bit at the beginning there, but it's that Life is Strange Episode 1 is now free. And I think this is a really, really cool move. I mean, that's essentially what it is. Across all platforms, it's the news. The game, you can download the first episode and see what it's like. I think that this is a really, really smart campaign to get more interest in a game that's been out for a while and also has gotten really, really good critical praise.
Yeah.
I never played it. I'm going to now.
Mhm.
And honestly, after playing the first episode, if it is as good as everyone has said it is, and I have no doubt that it is, I will probably end up playing the other ones. When the limited edition version came out, I was really interested in getting it because I do like getting physical copies of games.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I'm like considering going out and buying it today if I can play the first episode. So,
Nice.
worked for me.
Very nice. Yeah, this is a play that would never work for a single title or a series of titles. This can only work with episodic games, if you ask me, because they've hit the point where Life is Strange has been done for. It's either been a year or it's been a good while since the last episode of Life is Strange came out. So I'm sure Square Enix was like, well, we've pretty much we've hit the ceiling of sales that we're going to get if we don't do something. We've gotten a lot of sales. A lot of people really like it. The reviews are out, so we can't say that people are like scared of it. So they've hit that point where it's like if we don't do something to get people interested again, it's probably just going to stagnate and sit there. So with the episodic title, they can do something. They could be like, "Oh, hey, we've got 6 episodes. We can give everyone the first one's free." That's like the drug slogan. The first one's always free, and then they're like, "Hey, you're hooked now. You want to know what's happening to Chloe. You want to know what's happening to Max. You want to know what's happening to I don't know the other characters because I never actually played the game, and those are the only 2 people I know of." It's like that's a really good strategy. I wish it worked for full retail titles. Like, I guess a way it could work for full retail title or not full retail titles. That's not a nice way to put that. For like single games like The Witcher or something, is if like it's kind of a demo thing. Like you can play the first hour or something like that. I don't. That's not the same though. Just because I don't know. It is kind of the same, but it's not the same. It's hard to explain what I'm thinking in my head right now. But yeah, this was a good move on Square Enix's part because I've always been interested in Life is Strange, but I would never. Every time I saw it on sale, it was always just like, well, I could get this, or I could get a meal later, or I could get this, or I could get the other thing that has a little bit more of my interest right now. So with them give it to me free, I'll probably play through the first episode, be like, ooh, yeah, I want to know what's happening. Let's find out more about this girl who can turn back time.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, and I think it's giving people an opportunity to look back at the game and be like, oh yeah, I did kind of miss that one. and instead of it just being completely forgotten. Like if I didn't hear this news, it probably would have been years before I even thought about playing it again, and even then, I probably wouldn't have played it. So, it at least got me for the first episode, Square.
There you go. That's all. That's all I need. Once it gets in your veins, it sticks in your pleasure centers, and then you gotta keep having it. And little Billy Bo Bob is on the corner selling it, and he's like, "Hey, you want some more Life is Strange?" And you're like, "Yeah, give me that Life is Strange."
I was waiting for this to turn into a segue, and it's just not going there.
No, it's not. That wasn't a segue. That was just equating a video game to a drug. But anyway, let's see. What horrible segue can I come up with? Let's roll the dice one more time to see what story I'm actually reading is my last story. Usually we would do 2 stories per person, but since we don't have a third this week, we're just doing 3 per person. Apparently this dice only knows how to roll 2 and 3s. I actually was trying to avoid this story because, when I didn't want to go there, I guess. I can't even come up with a better or worse segue. Pokemon Go is Pokemon Go Going Gone is what I titled this, even though that's not at all what it has to do with anything. Someone finished it. There. That's what it is. Someone got all the Pokemans, and hey, don't get angry at me for saying Pokemans. I love Pokemon. I think it's funny. So yeah, someone has completed Pokemon Go, the US version anyway. Also, speaking of Pokemon Go, if you really hate Pokemon Go, there's actually a extension you can get for your browser called Pokemon Gone, which removes. I don't know how exactly it does it, but it removes all mention of Pokemon Go from your browser experience. So there you go. That's my favorite for you.
Pokemon.
Yeah, it's not gonna remove it right now though, because we're gonna talk about this. So yeah, Reddit user FTB_Hodor. Let's all pour one out for Hodor next time we have alcohol in our hands. Has caught every currently available Pokemon in the United States in Pokemon Go, but their Pokedex isn't quite complete. According to Hodor's post on Reddit, they have 142 Pokemon caught, and it took them walking 153 kilometers to do so. However, the actual figure may be greater. Game recorded 153 kilometers, but it's not all that accurate. And according to the Health app, I've walked 129.4 or 0.04 miles in that time. Almost all of that would be with the game open, or about 200 kilometers. So that's what I call devotion right there. Currently, it is thought that there are 5 unreleased Pokemon, namely the 3 legendary birds, which are Moltres, or I'll do it in order, Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. If anyone does not know Spanish numbers, you probably never got that. But yeah. So there's the 3 legendary birds, Mewtwo and Ditto. You get Mew, but not Mewtwo or Ditto?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Well, so apparently this was other news that I read about earlier in the week, but Mew is in the game coding, but is not, I don't think, able to be caught yet. So they're gonna wait for like special events to do certain things.
Okay, that's understandable then. I still want to see that like raid Mewtwo thing that they had in the trailer. That was like, oh, that looks awesome. That's why I want to play this game. And then I realized I would have to go somewhere that's not my home to do it. So, and plus there are 4 Pokemon which are thought to be region specific. They are not listed here, so hey, go Google and find out. Some other interesting facts about their Pokemon journey include catching 4,629 individual Pokemon and hatching 303 eggs. The user's most powerful Pokemon is a 2,619 combat power Dragonite, but their best Pokemon is a 2,226 combat point Snorlax named Marshmallow. So Hodor hasn't quite caught them all, but it's the best anyone can do for now without traveling abroad. So yeah, hey, that's pretty cool. That's I re-downloaded the game this week, and I'm playing it in a very, very lax manner. Like, I do not leave my house for it. If I'm out and about, I might pull it out if it hits my mind, but I'm not gonna like go somewhere just to play it. And I admit I use If anyone's never heard of it, there's a website called Pokevision, which, Jordan, do you know about that?
No.
So it's a site that literally, like, you put in your location or coordinates, and it shows you exactly where Pokemon are around you. So literally no effort whatsoever.
Wow.
Yeah, like I just have it on my browser, and like I just opened it. I'm gonna open it right now, see if there's anything near
I'm
my
gonna do it
house.
too.
Uh,
Yeah.
I actually have it bookmarked, so it has my look, because like it puts the location in your in the web address, so you can like bookmark. Like, since it's my house, I just bookmark my house. And currently there is. Let's refresh it right quick. There is a Pidgey down the street from me. And that's it. My area
For
is.
some reason. For some reason, it thinks I'm in Santa Monica.
Yeah, it's not specific. I learned that. I had to like take it to my city, and then I had to use the roads to just find out where my house was on the map. Um, but yeah, so it's useful. Like I pulled it up, and then opened my app, and what I saw on this map, or on the Pokevision map, was in the game. So that was really cool. But yeah, I pretty much play it from right here where I'm sitting right now. And I'm probably not going to pull it out if I'm like driving somewhere, which is usual. But yeah, it's really cool that someone, not me, definitely not me, has put in the time and effort to actually get out there and get them all. I guess I'd be more excited if the Pokemon you could catch were like things they haven't shown yet. That'd be kind of cool, but of course that would not make much sense. But yeah, congrats to you, Hodor. Hold the door.
So here's what I take issue with this story.
Okay.
You can't beat Pokemon Go.
You can get close though. You could do the
I mean, but you
equivalent.
can't. Well, but like catching them all isn't necessarily beating the game. So
Mm,
I actually had this discussion with somebody the other day, and like there are people I think who consider that a completion of the game, and they're
mm,
playing the game in order to just collect Pokemon. That's totally cool. But obviously there's the battle aspect where you have a team and you go to these gyms and you're trying to do like these turf wars and stuff.
mm,
And I think that it's going to cause the development process to have to slow down in some way, just because number one, if you start trading Pokemon,
mm.
there's going to be people who just trade all their Pokemon to another person, and that way they have them all at one point or another, and they'll stop playing the game because they think that they're done with it.
Yeah.
And there's also the other people who I would consider probably more hardcore players, who are going to the gyms and doing that sort of thing, and like fighting is the point of the game for them. Getting stronger Pokemon, which you can always get stronger Pokemon as you level up and catch more.
Mm.
And in that sense, the game is never done. So it depends on what kind of player you are.
Mm.
If you're trying to collect everything and you eventually collect everything, then I guess yes, you're done. If you're one that's trying to get stronger and stronger Pokemon and you're going out to gyms and you're trying to get a cool Pokemon to kick ass, the game's never done.
Now, as someone who plays, I have a question. So my strongest Pokemon is currently sitting at 405. I know that's not that
Okay.
strong in the grand scheme of things, but for me, that's
Okay.
just my next strongest is like 126. And
Okay.
I admit, like the Vaporeon, which is my strongest, is it's that level because I powered it up some. Just 'cause I was like, I have like 50,000 Eevee candies. Let's actually use them and put them to purpose. Now, when I go and catch Pokemon, it's again, when I say go, I mean like I'm sitting here, doing
Sure.
this, which I'm just gonna go ahead and open the app anyway right now. Oh, it's open
Checking out
already.
your Pokevision.
Yeah. Well, there was a Pidgey down the street. Maybe it's come this way a little bit. But anyway, when I catch Pokemon, they are always like CP 45 and 50. Like little nothings. Let's be honest. So when do I get to the point where I catch the strong things? Like, because I have a CP 409 Vaporeon. Why would I ever want a? I mean, I catch them because I know that's how you level up and everything. But like, what? What what is the point?
What is the point of what?
Like what why are they like not leveling up with me or whatever? Like I'm level 7. I have 405.
So I've noticed that there's a gradual increase in the level of Pokemon that you can catch as you level up. But once you hit like level 14 or so, there's kind of a large jump, so you start getting like much higher level Pokemon. So you got like a 409 Vaporeon right now, right? Let's say in a couple more levels, you find an Eevee that's like a CP level 200 and something. Okay. When you eventually evolve that Eevee, it's bound to be stronger than the Vaporeon that you have right now.
Yeah.
And it's also apparently based off of like the arc of that thing, that arc that's right below the number. Yeah. It's apparently supposed to be like the potential that it has when it evolves.
Okay.
So the farther to the right that arc is, the better the evolution CP that you'll get.
So, like, do you need to, like, power it up and then evolve it? Because then it'll be stronger when it evolves? This is the Pokemon Go podcast.
Yeah. There are technically two ways that you can do it. Number one, you can, like, catch a really strong Pokemon and just have that, like, get lucky and find something that's, like, really, really far to the right on that arc. And evolve that thing and probably get a really, really strong Pokemon. Or you can keep feeding it candy until it gets farther to the right there. But if you do that, it's going to take even longer to get it evolved. I mean, this is the ploy, essentially. Like, this is the scheme to keep you playing the game. It's going to take time if you have a specific Pokemon with certain skill sets that you want to be super strong. I've noticed that some of the Pokemon that have lower CP levels that you pick up usually have the rarer skill types.
That's just annoying.
Yeah.
I still think this game is bad, I'll be honest. I am playing it but I still think this game is bad. Let's just go ahead and put that away, because there's nothing on my street. All I ever get is Rattata and Pidgeys. But yeah, I guess that's what I should expect from being in nowhere, essentially. But enough about Pokemon Go. You know what else is going, and what else went and came back? I guess.
It's coming back.
I
don't think it's back yet, is it?
It's not, but I mean, you know what else go and came back, or go and coming back? There you go. There's the least grammatical sentence you'll ever hear on this podcast.
Well, apparently Neo is getting another demo on PlayStation 4 in August. If you've been chomping at the bit for Neo since its last demo in April, well, good news. Another demo is coming this August. Arriving August 23rd and running until September 6th, so you got quite a bit of time on this one. Neo's second demo, being called the beta demo, will feature a new dojo stage that will teach the basics of Neo's samurai combat system via intense training sessions. Further, players will also be able to explore a yet-to-be-announced stage. In addition to this, a selection of new katanas, spears, axes, hammers, and other weapons will be available to collect and add to your arsenal. Other than being coined the Samurai Dark Souls, what is Neo about? Well, here's an official description provided by community manager Chin Sun Sun of Koei Tecmo, the publisher, via the PlayStation blog. Neo follows the tale of William Adams as he travels to Japan and becomes a samurai. Yeah, I was surprised by that too. I know. Players will discover a deep and enticing world that blends history and Japanese folklore. The tough gameplay pits players against daunting and overpowering creatures and encourages them to learn their enemies' tactics to gain the advantage in battle. So here's the deal with this game. I'm really interested in it because I really like Bloodborne, Souls type games. I'm interested to see what this game is like. However, I agree, Miles. That was the first time that I've seen that this is actually a Western character going to Japan to become a samurai, and I'm a little hesitant as to why they're doing that.
That's so dumb. That's so dumb.
All I can think of is Tom Cruise in The Last Samurai now, and it's driving me crazy.
That's the moment I heard William Adams, I was like, what? Tom Cruise? Why are we playing The Last Samurai, the video game? It's good they're coming out with another demo because the first one came out and was like 3 days long, and then it was gone. Even if you had it down, I think even if you had it downloaded, you couldn't play it afterwards. So because I had
Yeah.
it downloaded and I just didn't play it. I I didn't think about the guy's race or anything until until his name. I had seen pictures of him and I was just like, huh. I guess he's kind of like Geralt. He kind of reminds me of Geralt, but I didn't actually think about that. And then it's like, oh, William Adams. William Adams. William Adams.
So yeah. Besides that, and the implications that it makes as far as just kind of whitewashing, but it's something that I'm going to check out. The first demo I missed, and it sounds like the first demo kind of had its slew of issues. A lot of people had a lot of recommendations to make to Koei Tecmo about how to fix certain elements of the game, like weapon durability, which I fucking hate in games.
It's the worst.
It's the worst. It's the worst. So they got rid of that. So I think I'll probably enjoy it a lot more playing it for the first time with this next demo than I would have playing the first time on the first demo.
Weapon durability and having to like eat and drink are like the worst things in video games.
Yep.
I love it when I get the god tier weapon that's the most amazing thing ever, and I can use it once, then it breaks. That's happened to me in a video game. Fun fact. Weeaboo Man. Yeah, they are probably going to nickname him Weeaboo Man, unless there's like a very good reason for him to have traveled to Japan and become a samurai, which there probably isn't. So yeah, hey, if you want to play as William Adams, the white samurai, and don't get me wrong, I would have a problem with this even if it were a black guy because it just doesn't make sense. So yeah, that's a thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Now we're gonna move on to. Do we have one of those for this episode?
We do. We do have one of those.
Okay, good. So now is our newest segment of the show, the Readus Fetus quote of the show, where our good Jordan Loeffler brings us a quote of Kojima's that is either from this week or just interesting. Doesn't matter really. We've set that precedent. And then we read it. And then I usually am really disappointed and then angry at myself for a few minutes. And Jordan laughs, and Adam would laugh if you were here. And then I move us on because I don't want to think about the things that Kojima says anymore. So, what's the quote of the show?
So I got to point a couple of things out here. Number one, we're either going to have to slow down on these or eventually switch to a different person to start quoting. But because eventually we're going to run out of these, and he as prolific as he is in news media in the news right now, he's not doing enough for us to do this indefinitely. So we got one today, but we're taking suggestions for other people to possibly quote, or if you got any quotes that you find notable, let us know. Send it to contact.mong@gmail.com. Anyway, so today's Readus Fetus quote of the show is that it's not, quote, it's not whether you are right or wrong, but how much faith you are willing to have. That decides the future.
Okay, I need you. Can you copy paste that into the thing?
As I can try.
Okay, because
You want to deconstruct this thing, is what you're saying.
I just need to read it to make sure it's not as ridiculous as I think it is, or to see if it is as ridiculous as I think it is.
It is. All right.
Or put it in Facebook chat, whichever goes fastest.
Oh my god. Phone stop.
So yeah, this is usually where Readus Fetus Man would pop up down there. Orientation camera. Down there. But since Adam isn't here, Readus Fetus Man has been with us the whole episode. And we've been kind of ignoring him because he's a quiet gentleman.
Alright, should be there for you.
Wait, am I looking in Facebook chat or here?
It's not showing up where it should be.
Oh.
No!
Now we are on the search for the Readus Fetus. It has crawled away from us. And
there it is. It's in there. It's in the doc.
There you go. All right. It's not whether you were right or wrong, but how much faith you were willing to have. that decides the future. This is kind of depressing because like a lot of people are wrong about a lot of things, but
Mhm.
they're dead set on them. So that just kind of that dictates where they go in life, which is kind of sad.
So maybe it is maybe he's right or maybe he's wrong, but he's deciding to no. I mean it's like you can say it as um it doesn't matter like what you are like what points you are asserting, you can totally just make the world what you want because of how strongly you believe it. Um, or you could take it as a really cynical point of view, being other people are like have a strong belief in something, whether they're right or wrong, and guide the world that way. Uh, yeah, I guess I didn't really think about it. Like they're very subtle differences, but he could be prophetic in some way with that quote. And of course, we take these things completely out of context, so we have no idea what he was talking about.
I don't know. Sometimes I think we can get a pretty good idea, but I'm not sure about this. This one's just kind of like insane, honestly.
You don't have to be right or wrong, Miles.
I do. I always have to be right. But you know what I am right about? The thought from nowhere, because we're going to move on from the Rita Speed's Coda
All
show.
right.
So, the thought from nowhere this week is from our very own number one fan who took the title from one Tunde Abimbola. He was like way back in the day. But Lord Jesus Christ sent us an idea at the end of last episode. But hey guys, Jesus again. When playing games that are inherently repetitive or have repetitive sound design or music, fighting games, Souls games, etc., I turn to listening to other things like music and podcasts, like this one. Thanks. While playing them, my question is: do you do this as well? How long or how many deaths/losses does it take for you to abandon the in-game audio for something else? And what do you listen to if you do? Lord Jesus Christ. Well, that's an easy answer for me because it's the most prevalent in Destiny, although it's prevalent in all the things I play. I will probably play a game with the audio on, or the music audio anyway, for a good maybe 4 or 5 hours, and then once I feel like I've heard everything, or like once I've beaten the game, or yeah, it's a better gauge. Once I've beaten the game or something, so I've heard everything, I've heard all the music and all the different sound cues for all the bosses and everything, then I will turn on music, and that will be just I will just turn off the in-game music completely and listen to like if I'm on PS4, I'll listen to Spotify because that's the only thing that can or that's the only thing that I'm aware of that can currently play in the background of your video games. So I'll just turn that on and listen to my playlist and everything. If I'm on the computer, well, I have two screens, so I'll have the video game on this one, and I will have either YouTube or Twitch or something going on that one. And yeah, I mean, I keep the audio on, like the sound effects, but yeah, music, I'm like, yeah, okay, that's cool. I'm done. If it's really good, like Fury, I'll go download it and I can listen to it else time, like while I'm driving or something. What about you, Jordan?
Yeah, I used to do this a lot when like it's a PS2 era. I've mentioned on here a couple of times that I was really into SOCOM 2 back when I was a kid.
Hmm.
And I had a really weird. I was a strange kid. I had a really weird playlist of songs that I would just like burn onto CDs and like put in my like stereo and play while I was playing multiplayer games generally. But I have like certain songs that like click in my brain every time. Or excuse me, SOCOM 2 will pop into my brain every time I hear certain songs.
Hmm.
Um, One of them was like Bad Leroy Brown. Like just like I said, I was a weird kid. I listened to some really strange music when I was a kid.
Okay.
I don't know what else did I listen to. Probably more normal for my age range was I listened to Meteora, Linkin Park's Meteora a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
um, I listened to Harry Chapin. I still like Harry Chapin, but
I don't
if
know
you've
who that
never
is.
listened to it, there are like a lot of ballads and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, various like story-based songs. It's old music. Like he was from the 60s.
Oh.
Yeah. What else? Oh, nowadays I don't do it too much. When I was playing Destiny and like doing like Radiant quests and stuff, I was unemployed for a little while and I was doing that.
Hmm.
I would listen to podcasts, just because that game gets. I mean, when I was playing it, it would get really mindless, just kind of farming ingredients or just kind of like looking for the events, like the public events and stuff.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, yeah, I got a lot of podcasting in around then. I don't edit as much anymore, but I was listening to like a lot of Kind of Funny and stuff around that time.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Sounds like a good background for your games. Chat, feel free to say what your what stuff you listen to while you're gaming. Lord Jesus Crust has answered with he has Jap words. I have a Japanese music playlist on YouTube featuring Bradio. I hope I got that right. Gin Machine, Camelio, and some other ones. So yeah, that's a. I always like to. It's a lie. I don't always like to, but it's nice when you get the songs that fit what you're doing the most.
Mm.
Like if you're playing, trying to think of a good pairing right now, metal with a really big fight in some game. That's not really specific, but yeah, that's
Yeah, I mean, the weird thing for me though was like I was playing SOCOM, like was an intense like stealth action game,
mhm.
and just listening to music that did not match it whatsoever.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Like, and that was I was like I said a weird kid. But yeah, I don't really listen to stuff anymore while I play games, which is kind of interesting. I think it might just be because I play games for different reasons now.
mhm.
Like it's more of a I want to pay attention to this thing. Like it's usually something that I'm actively engaged in, and music or podcast or something would be a distraction.
Yeah, yeah. Well, okay. Let's ask this question then. What is a game or two games, since I have two, that you would never turn the soundtrack off of? I will go ahead and answer mine. Uh, so the first one is Killer Instinct because that soundtrack is freaking amazing.
Mm.
All the character themes are just like stellar. Even the ones I don't like are still good, and I will listen to if they came on the radio. Um, I just think like Mick Gordon in season one, he did the music. Again, that's how amazing they are. I actually know who made the songs and everything. Because usually I like music a lot, but I don't really care about who makes the music. Like I want to know their name so I know what to put in my computer and everything. But beyond that, like I don't usually know anything about the people that make music. But yeah, Mick Gordon was amazing. And then when Crypt Dweller and I don't remember the other one's name because it's a little bit more out there than Crypt Dweller is. But yeah, when they took over, it was just like I didn't even know you two are also really good at making music because I was not aware that it changed. Um, and then the other game, even though I've never played it, but I would not turn the music off on it, was Fury, the new game that just came out, Furi, just because that soundtrack is just ugh, it it's like synth and it's like synth pop in the way I like it. So like Toxic Avenger and Carpenter Brut, who I still am amazed is making music at his age, if he is the same person I'm thinking about. Um, there's that. Yes, Mick Gordon also did the Doom 4 soundtrack. Um, actually, yeah, like the games like Hotline Miami and
Oh yeah, good choice.
well, yeah, Hotline Miami. I imagine Hotline Miami and Fury in the same vein. So that and I feel like there's another game I'm forgetting, but yeah, those are two games I would never, or three games that I would never turn the soundtracks off on.
When I was playing on GameCube, again as a kid, I used to listen to the 1080 Avalanche soundtrack a lot.
Hmm.
I don't remember half the songs that are on it, but I remember really enjoying it at the time. And yeah, I never turned that off.
Hmm.
And I've always really liked, well, I guess not always, but because it kind of gets ridiculous. But fresh in my mind right now is Metal Gear. I really liked the Metal Gear the second Sons of Liberty
Hmm.
soundtrack. And 5 is actually pretty good too. And the reason why I like that one is because it's a lot of 80s music.
Mhm.
You gotta like 80s music, but the man who sold the world, David Bowie, is like the title song essentially of the game.
Hmm.
So that's pretty cool. I really like that a lot.
Yeah, God, Metal Gear Solid 4. That's what I was thinking about. Metal Gear Solid 4 had one song that I like. It just there's only one part of it that like just blows me away. But every time I hear it, I'm just like, yes. It's Endless Pain, I think is what the song's called.
I think I know. I think I know that one.
Yeah, it's the one that has like the violin drop at like a little ways into the song. It's like the dun 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 dun. I'm like, ah. Yeah, so I love that song. But yeah, video game music is always a hit or miss for me. But when I find something I like, it's just like I'm gonna go download that so I don't have to play the video game to listen to it. Oh man, but yeah, what do you have like a favorite thing? Like, do you have a favorite song that you've listened to during games? Because I remember one time I made my friends listen to Particle Man like 3 hours in a row while I was playing Oblivion, and that was not really fun for them, but it was fun for me. And I think Iced Earth was a really good pairing for something I was playing way back in the day. I don't remember what it was though.
I just remembered something. I can't think of a song that I actually have like as a favorite.
Hmm.
Um, but I do have another kind of entry into my strange mind as a child. I don't know if you ever played Metal Arms, Glitch in the System.
I feel like I remember it.
Okay, so you basically played as like this little yellow robot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I played the multiplayer a lot with my friends again. I played a lot of multiplayer as a kid.
Yeah.
And there was one day where I was playing the game with them, and we just put what was the song? Weird Al Yankovic's "That's Your Horoscope" for the day on
Hmm.
repeat for like 3 hours.
I've never heard that song, but I've heard a lot of Weird Al Yankovic, so I can imagine just how nonsensical that would get at some point.
It is not. They were my. I had a couple of other friends in the room with me, and they were super annoyed like the first 3 times that we were doing it, and then they got really into it, and we were all singing it as we were blowing each other up in this game. And which, by the way, the game's not good. It was
Yeah.
not a very good game, but yeah, that was again one of the stupid things we did. I don't know. The theme song from Metal Gear Solid 2 is probably one of my favorites in gaming. It's just like the opening. I think
Hmm.
there's some opening song on the splash screen or something like that. But it's really really good.
I think I only know the opening songs, the like more recent ones, just because I wasn't paying attention back in the day. But yeah, Metal Gear
3
Solid
is
has
like the
good music.
iconic one.
Yeah.
But I don't really like that one so much.
Oh, reminiscing on game music, game
Yeah.
music of our youth. But we know what time it is now. It's time for us to go. It's been an hour. I have to edit things, and for once, I actually am going to eat after this, so I am actually hungry. Uh, so, as per usual, this has been Mom Podcast. This has been episode 132, which is The Sound of Silence, because we had a music themed thought from nowhere. See what I did there? Yeah, smart. So our schedule, as you can see, if you're here right now while we're live, is to record on Sunday afternoons and release about an hour later. If you're wondering what time specifically if you're in EST, so Eastern Standard Time, it's 3:30 p.m. Of course, we're not going to do this at 3:30 a.m. for any reason whatsoever. And if you're elsewhere, it's 12:30 PDT. And if you're beyond that, I don't know. Use a time thing. I forgot what they're called. What are they called? You remember? Time converter. Yeah, converter. Thank you. I just like converter was not coming to my mind. Use one of those to figure it out because I'm not good at converting time. If you're wondering where we're doing this live at, which is where you should be if you want to join the chat or if you just want to watch us do this live. It's not like there are outtakes, so you're not missing anything if you don't watch it live, but we appreciate it if you're here in the chat. You can go to twitch.tv/mongplays. That's where you can watch this podcast go live. You can watch Let's Plays when they happen. I know Charlie was streaming a Fire Red Nuzlocke earlier this week. So, that's interesting if you ask me, because Nuzlocke can either be the most fun thing or the worst thing you've ever done, depending on how your rolls with what Pokemon you find are. You can find our Mong Twitter account, which is mong.com. That's where we put up posts like when we're going live on Twitch, when there's a new story on the website, when there's something new on our YouTube page. Of course, if you want to send us an email about any questions you might have, or if you want to suggest a thought from nowhere, it's contact.mong@gmail.com. As you saw, we take a thought from nowhere, we'll say your name and make sure you get credit for asking it, and then we'll talk about it. And we're running low on them, so we would really appreciate it if you have something you want to ask us, if you just go ahead and put it in there. That'd be great. And it can be topical. Well, if it's topical, I'll try and get to it as quickly as possible, which literally means I'll probably make it the next episode. If not, then hey, it'll pop up in due time. I try and get to other people's questions before Chris, because Chris works with us, and that's only fair to make our fans' questions first. Beyond that, you can find us on YouTube at Mong Network and Middle Nerd Gaming Plays. Of course, Middle Nerd Gaming Plays is where things like PlayStation Plus You and Me and Let's Plays go. Mong Network is where things like the podcast and Friendly Neighborhood Fanboys go up. I already said our Twitch channel. You can find us on Facebook, Tumblr, and Instagram. Just look for Middle Nord Gaming. I don't know why I hitched right there. And then you can check our website, which is middleofnowheregaming.com, if you want to see all the stuff we do, see the people, if you want to read our bios for whatever reason. I don't do new
For
people.
whatever reason.
Yeah. If you want to know about us people for some reason. Do our new people even have bios?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
Some of them do. Some of them do.
Okay. I know it's not. I think last time I checked, there were a few people. We just had a few people who were just pictures and names and nothing about them. And then we have
Really?
I feel like it was just because is that a requirement when they join to write a bio?
Eventually.
Okay.
When I find time to do it, yeah. It's not high on the priority list, but yeah,
Okay.
it's there.
I might have checked in the window because I feel like Tyler didn't have one. I might have just been in that window where it was
Tyler does not have one yet.
Okay. So yeah, you can find out information about some of the people at Mong. Not all of us, because some of us have been here since a time where that was required, and some of us haven't. And last but not least, you can definitely, if you would like to help us out and help us keep the website up, because unfortunately having the website up does cost money, and if you'd like to help us out, we have a Patreon. It's Middle of Nowhere Gaming. Just look for that on there. If you can give anything, we appreciate it, even if it's $1 or if it's $100. We don't care. We appreciate everything. And if you can't give anything, we still appreciate you for watching and giving us traffic and all that good stuff, because that is what keeps us afloat, I guess. It's what keeps the website and the YouTube page alive. We have to get traffic. So yeah, if you send your friends here, or if you just watch us every week, listen to us, whatever, we always appreciate everything you wonderful fans do for us. And I think that's about it. I don't think I'm forgetting anything beyond the Twitter handle sign off, but I don't think I'm forgetting anything. I feel like I am, but I don't think I am. So anyway, yeah, if you want to find us personally on Twitter, you can find me, Myles Farrington, at Furious Milk. You can find Jordan
at JL_Fleur.
And you can find the Redis Fetus Man at Redis Fetus Lapidus on Twitter. I don't think that's a real thing, but if you find it and it's funny, link it to me. It'd be kind of funny. Yeah, don't troll us with fake donations. That's not cool. But beyond that, hey, thanks for coming. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And you all have a wonderful week, weekend, whatever time you got around to listening to this. So, yeah. What is it? Sticks and ropes? Is that it?
Ropes and sticks.
God damn. Ropes and sticks. I still want a new outro. If you want to know what that means, go listen back to the first time we had the Redis Fetus quote of the show. That'll explain what the ropes and sticks is. It's not a BDSM thing like I still think it sounds like. So yeah, y'all have a wonderful week.